Chapter. Aloha, Richard Halverson here. This is ICS321, and it's the first day of summer session 2021. And today I'm just going to go over the syllabus and give you some parameters and all that. So let me share my screen. Two. And this is what when you log into Laulima, you can log into Laulima, click on it. If you don't see your course there, click on Sites and you'll find it here, and click on make it a star and so on. And this course runs, let's go to the syllabus. And this course runs from 2 days ago to August 13th. That's a Friday. And it's asynchronous, which means you don't have to attend any of these video lectures, but part of the conventional wisdom of doing online or doing asynchronous classes is that you should spend a lot of time on your videos to make them short and concise and everything, to make it easier for the students. Well, my philosophy is that there are students that like face-to-face or synchronous, even though it's Zoom. And so what I choose instead is to announce when I'm going to make my videos. And so folks like you who have joined us today can join in. And if you have any questions, you can ask them. So in other words, you can steer the lectures a little bit, and then of course you get firsthand information and all that. And and everybody is responsible for the content of these videos. So if you tune in, you can see them earlier, see it sooner. Okay, so there's one text I was able to deprecate the other textbook that I used for the class because they've added enough now to the SciBooks textbook that covers everything that needs to be covered. And what was missing was basically the theoretical relational algebra part of this course. And so we only have one textbook now, costs $77. You got to make sure you subscribe, subscribe early. Sometime in July, I think you can't subscribe anymore. I'm not sure when that is, but anyway, this textbook looks like this. I'll go over this in just a moment. But here's what the syllabus looks like. We're going to go over pretty much the whole textbook. It's not that big of a textbook. It's a new textbook, and in fact, I think most people just use this textbook as in addition to other textbooks, but since they got the section 2.9 in there, I didn't feel we need to have another textbook. And then there are these assignments, and these assignments sort of coincide with what you're learning in the textbook. And everybody is going to be assigned their own server. And I'll go over that in a moment too. Okay, so 40% of the grade is going to be on the textbook, the stuff in the textbook. 55% is going to be on this projects. And then there's a forum here that will be 5% of your grade. And so that is not up yet. The TA is really helping out a lot with that. And the idea of these forums is because we're online, the colleges generally like there to be some sort of interaction between students. So the forum does that. So you all will contribute, and it's not what you contribute. It's not what you contribute. It's the fact that you contribute. And then also the accreditation boards that do the accreditation for the programs that we're teaching in. They want to see instructor to student interaction. They don't care that much about student to student interaction. In fact, they don't care hardly at all, but they do care about instructor to student interaction. It's got to be so in these forums, the TA is going to craft the questions. So I can go in there and comment, and my wisdom as an old computer science guy from start in 1980s is when I started out my career in computer science, and can share a lot of wisdom and all that, and that way you get the feedback from the instructor. And we're going to make it as relevant to the course as we can, but it's probably going to include other topics like cybersecurity, data science, and so on. That, of course, databases has to be everywhere for that. Okay, so let's take a now as far as these videos being recorded, I'd like to give you an opportunity to watch the videos if you want. So I've got this sign in, and I'm going to put all this here. I just got this running today, but it's and I'll post this up. And in fact, the email I sent has it in here. There's a website that I've created called cansit.in. It's like when you can sit in a class, can sit in. And so you go here, and only the folks in this class are in here. So you have to put in your email address, like mine is Richard H. And you got to put in my 8-digit, your 8-digit UHID. And then you click enter. And here you check off if this is kind of like a when is good, kind of thing. So you go in here and you check off the times that you could attend the class if you wanted to attend the class. Now, if you know you're never ever going to want to attend the class, if you're just always going to do asynchronous and you're never going to, then don't bother filling this out, because this only imposes restrictions. Okay, so but I'd like you to fill it out, and to have an opportunity sometime. I think the videos are going to cover pretty much everything that you want to know, but there might be some time when you have a specific question. And so at those times, you can show up. In this class, there's only 22 people. It will not be, and I'm going to try to have these every week, at least every week. In fact, I'd like to have them like 15 times in this 12-week period, because there's like 15 weeks in the class. There will be times when no one shows up, which is fine. I'm just going to record the video and go on. And so people can pop in and out, like you guys can pop in, pop out. I'm not going to pay any attention. And they are recorded. They are going to be put up. So if you don't want, to be recognized, well, you won't be recognized because I'm sharing my screen all the time. And also I have it so when you talk, your screen, your window does not appear on the screen. But also, if you want, you can change, don't have your picture, change your name. I don't really care. Privacy is important to people. So all right, so go in here and check this off. And then what I do is I've got kind of an inside thing where I can go in and I can select what the day the class is going to be, what time the class is going to be. Now, this is not that big a deal over the summer because I'm only teaching one class. But as you can guess, during the regular fall and spring semester, when I'm teaching more classes, this is kind of helpful. All right, so do that. I'd like to go back and comment on this syllabus. Just I thought of something. This is my regular, fall spring semester syllabus. And what I've done is normally I have 5 weeks, 5 days, Monday through Friday, and then I have Saturday and Sunday off. And all I've done here is I've gotten rid of the Saturday and Sunday off. And so these weeks are 5-day weeks. I should call them cycles. That's right. I'm going to change this to cycles. So there's 17 cycles, 5 days per cycle. And so that way I can sort of give the same curriculum as the fall and spring class. It should be a little bit easier this semester because that other textbook I had like 15 quizzes and you had to watch these videos and so on. And all I've done is add one section to this book, and so that should cover it. So let's take a look at, so every week I will announce when, and I'm going to do it beforehand. Now, today I just announced this today, but that's just because I got this ready today. But this weekend I'm going to send out send out an announcement for the coming week, and you can decide what you want to do or not. These are the assignments. There's going to be 7 assignments, and these all this one is to initialize your server, and everyone's going to have a server, and you want to use this grading assistant to help you make sure that all your answers are correct. I think I'm going to sneeze, but I'm not going to. And so as you do your server, everyone's got a server like I got one, ICS321.com. You have one. You just go and type in your username.ics321.com. You should see that, although you're not going to have any stuff here. All you're going to have is CGI bin. And then you log in and you set all this up. And as you go along, as you do the assignments, you type in your username and your password here, and then this thing is an automatic grader thing. So for example, I can, if I put in mine, I can check to see like my assignment so mine are all working. So mine are all done, and see, so this grades it, and boom, this is for all the tables I got to set up, and I get all the points, and that's graded. So you can just keep, if there's errors, it tells you what the errors are, and you can just keep on doing it until you get all the points. And so if you want to get all the points in this class, it's pretty easy to get all the points. As far as assignments, as far as when assignments are due, everything is auto graded. So my deadlines are your deadlines. I have to have the grades in Tuesday after the last day of class, and so it takes me about a half a day to download all the scores that everybody is done throughout the semester, and to load them up, and then I go through and then I got to go check my email, because I might have made some arrangements with some of you wanting incompletes and stuff. I'll check all that, and then I submit my grades. But there's no reason that I need you to be finished, more than 2 days before the end of the semester, because I'm not going to do the final grading till the day before the grades are due anyway. And when I do the grading, I download everything and upload everything. And so there's no reason for me to count anything late. Now, that doesn't mean that I do have due dates, but these due dates are highly recommended due dates. And these due dates also coincide with when I'm going to be talking about them during the lecture. So it's a matter of pacing the course. And so if, for example, you're coming along and you're going to do, just say you're way behind. Or let's say something came up and you fell behind, and you're catching up last 2 weeks of the semester, you're catching up. Fine, see, that happens. And you're doing assignment 2. Well, you come up, you're stuck. But before you ask me a question, go back to around June 22nd or so, or sometime in this period, and see if I made a video on it. And I quite likely made a video on it. So I've recycled these assignments. You can also go to the resources. And these are the previous semester videos. And like this is spring 2021. And I cover in here a lot of the stuff that was not covered in the fall 2019. Spring 2021. Where's the fall 2020? I better spring. This is 2021, right? Where's fall 2020? Anyway, okay, I'll figure that out. I wonder why. All right. So anyway, there's going to be videos for everything, and there's going to be a new set of videos here for this semester. All right, let's take a look at 1046. Let's take a look at the textbook. So you go to zybooks.com, and you're gonna you can just click on you can click or go to the syllabus and go here, I guess. Learn. I should make these links. I should turn these into links. I will do that. I'm going to come in here and make some additions. As soon as I upload this video, then I'm going to create a YouTube playlist, and there'll be a link there. So the best way to get the latest video is to go to the playlist, because when I'm done recording the video and I upload the video, the first screen that I have to upload the video, there's about 3 or 4 screens if you've ever uploaded stuff to YouTube. The first screen asks me the playlist. So I put that there, and then I finish and I click, and then I might go away and do something else, and I might be slow to come back and add it to the resources folder here. So if we go look at the textbook, so you go to that learn.zybooks.com and you sign up and everything. You have any problems, just let me know, because this is pretty new stuff, and so they are still getting their website perfect. So we're in summer 2021, and you'll probably only have one. And this is what the textbook looks like. And so you're going to come in. There's this welcome screen here. Yours might look different because I'm an instructor. And so you're going to do these instructions. Oh, you have to subscribe before August 10th. That's like the 3 days before the last day of class. But anyway, make sure don't wait till the last minute, of course. And then, I'm going to click on reporting here, because so each chapter has got participation activities, challenge activities, and it's the last chapter that has all of these labs. And labs are actually, programming assignments. And the rest of these things are little clever browser click around animations and stuff that help you learn this stuff. And yet participation just means you click through them. You can, and in fact, if you're like, if you don't care about learning and you only care about getting the points, you can just click until you get all the points. So that's for participation. For challenge, you actually have to know what's going on, and for the labs, you really kind of have to know what's going on. And then I download a report that's got all your scores, and I process it and I upload them right into the. I don't think there's anything in the grade book yet. Oh yeah, so I upload them here. I'm not done filling this out because there's actually ones for every. And yes, so these are the assignments. So if we start out, let's take a look and see what these things are. Okay, so by the way, this is the chapter section that they added, and I don't have to use this other textbook now to cover relational algebra, but here's an example of a participation activity. It tells you what the things are here, and then you fill in this. Okay, so what is select? Select is a sigma symbol. So you drag this over here. Ooh, look at that. I got it correct. The projection, we're going to learn what all these mean. Projection, pi for projection, sigma for select, the X for product. Of course, that's pretty. And then joining, we're going to learn about what join means. That's this thing. That looks kind of like it. Joining. We're unioning. We're intersecting. We're differencing. Now, what happens if you make a mistake? Oh, shoots. Oh, shoots. Oh, there, good. Okay, let's put this here. Oh, I got it right. I was just guessing. And this is, what symbol is that? Delta or something? Row for rename. And I got all the points. See, so I checked there, and then when I download the scores, I just get all the points. And here it's just clicking through and watching. It's showing you how to do stuff. Okay, it's explaining this. And then here are these quizzes. You can just, you know, just guess. Oh, that's correct. Good. Let's guess. Are they all true? Oh, this one's incorrect. So I just click this and then I get the points. Okay, so anyway, that's participation activities. They're real easy. You go through them. You know, I can also, there's also a report which tells me how much time you spend on each chapter, okay, on each section. It tells me the time. Okay, well, I'm not going to look at that, but it's kind of interesting because there's one section in here, section 10, which talks about you putting MySQL on your computer, on your personal computer, whether it's a Mac or a PC, and there's no challenge activities, there's no participation activities. It just shows you how to do some stuff. And so this is an example of where if I were to mandate you studying this chapter, then I could go and check out how many, you know, I can see how much time you spend on it. Anyway, and then the labs, the criticisms of this course over the past by industry, by, you know, both at the community colleges and at the 4-year at Manoa, they've got industry advisors. It's a pretty important thing, especially for engineering and science and where we're, you know, producing jobs. And the criticism of this course, in the past has been, well, they don't frame it as a criticism. The comment is they got to know SQL. They got to be able to write an SQL statement. And, you know, all this stuff. If you look in the student learning outcomes and all that for the course, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but it really SQL, because that's the programming part. So I kind of save that for the last. It's almost like a final kind of thing, but these are all just SQL. And what's great about this textbook is that you enter in the solution and you click this and you run the program. Let's see. Oh, I already got this answer. Oh, I already got this correct. I must have done this already. Well, so I already got all the points, but anyway, so you just type in the answer. You type in the answer, and then you can in development mode you run the program, and it gives you the results, and it doesn't tell you yet if it's correct. To know if it's correct, you click the submit mode where you're actually submitting it for grading, and you click on that, and then you can see if you got all the points or not. And if you didn't get all the points, then you just keep, I got all the points. If you didn't get all the points, then you just keep on working at it until you get all the points. And it doesn't matter how many times you do it to get all the points, okay? What matters is that you get all the points. Now, in fact, this quote signature of your work thing, it looks like on May 24th, I went in and I started this. So this is May 26th. Okay, so 2 days ago, I must have gone in and done this. But anyway, so there's this signature, and you know, one of these means I submitted it for a grade. Other ones, I don't know, I'm not sure. Monday, maybe Wednesday or something. Just today, Wednesday, yeah. What instructors like me can use that for is to see, like, if how much effort or how many tries it took you to get the correct solution. And in theory, if I insisted that you do all of your development on this stupid browser thing here, then that would be meaningful to me. But in fact, you're all going to have servers, so you just may want to go in and set this up and run it on your server so you can actually see what the results are and debug it that way. And then when you got the correct answer, you just pop it in there and click submit, and then your signature is just going to be one submission where you clicked on submit for grading and you got the correct answer. Well, you know, that would be the same sort of signature if you just asked somebody for the answer and they gave it to you and you pop the answer in there. See, so, but how do I know if you did that or you actually figured out the answer in some other setting and then put the answer in here. Well, I don't know. So I'm not going to use this. In fact, I encourage you to get your work done in the most convenient platform or a development environment that you wish. And then, the only thing here is that you get the right answer, and you eventually get the right answer. And I don't, I trust. Well, I'm not gonna try to find out if you're cheating. I encourage you to work together. I encourage you to help each other. And I encourage you not to just give the answers to your neighbor, to your colleague. Although you could say, okay, tell you what, I'll work on this one, if you work on the other one, that's better. That's a lot better than hey, I'll buy you dinner if you give me the answer. That don't do anything like that. But that. All right, so that's what these labs are. Now there are going to be these kinds of the assignments. The assignments cover a lot of that, and so the first, let me just quickly show you that. The first assignment is to set up your server, and you're just supposed to put these. You're supposed to create a file called .htaccess, put that in there. That way, whenever you go to your server, it switches over to HTTPS, your secure server. This is just a dumb little database that I'm having you create to get you acclimated to this phpMyAdmin, which is with the web browser-based database administration thing that you're going to use. And you watch the video. There's a video here, and it just takes you step by step through it. And so and this is your first exposure to database creation. By the way, this is not going to be. This is due well, that's really the final date. But this is kind of the timing of it is going to be where around the time June 12th, you should be into some of this stuff where you can. June 12th is this day. Is in here, so you're going to be into knowing how to do this assignment, and then you can test it here. And then this what happened to it? Oh, here it is. And then the second assignment is to you will have been through chapter 3, and so this is normalization. As you're given a table like this, and you're supposed to normalize it. And again, there's a video. You just take step by step, go through it, see the video. And here it gives you pretty detailed instructions on how to do it, or just watch the video. And so these are just exercises in doing that. Again, you just do them, and then you click on here, and this tells you if you got them all right. So, and then the third assignment is you're creating another database. Watch the video, and you have your first set of SQL statements that you have to work on. And again, you go here, and you go to this is assignment 3. Go to here, and these are the SQL statements. So I ask you, type with this, easy. Write an SQL statement to list all the columns and rows of the owner table. Here's the table down here, the tables, and this is the same table as your previous assignment, I think. So obviously it's select asterisk from owner. It's very easy, and you click submit, and it tells you got it. So that's the third one. You create the data, you create this database, and then you these SQL statements, and again, it's just supposed to get you started with the SQL statements. In the past, what I've done is I've said, these SQL statements, you don't need to get all those done until the end. But the reason the reason I had the SQL statements at the end was because the other textbook I used, the first half of the textbook was relational algebra, and we didn't talk at all about SQL. We didn't even bring up any kind of SQL until like chapter 7 or so. And this is a really good book for computer scientists like you guys, or like a lot of you are, who've never seen an SQL, you haven't been exposed to SQL yet, but you're programmers, you know how to program, you've been programming for a couple of 3 years or whatever, a couple of years at least. And so, you know how to code, you know about assignment statements and if then else and all that loops. But you might not have seen it. SQL is a different kind of programming language. You know, an SQL statement describes how you want the result of describes the result of the action, whereas a procedural program talks about the steps to get from the beginning to the end. You know, so two different kinds of things. And so SQL can be a little bit different. And so I had them do all at the end, but now I'm not going to do that. I'm just now this new textbook. You start talking about SQL earlier in the textbook, and so it's timely. Again, nothing has to be complete. Nothing, you know. The last day of finals is the day that you should start stressing if you don't have some of your assignments, at least some of your assignments done. So that's the third assignment. The fourth assignment is another database assignment, running a bunch of SQL statements. I think in this one I might even give you is there a video here, and I might even give you I give you the SQL to create it, so it goes pretty fast. And then we get into stored procedures. And triggers and stored procedures. So you know, there is a procedural language in SQL, MySQL, that it's a bunch of SQL statements, but there's also if then structures and so on. And so I give you most of it. I give you most of the stored procedure. And then I tell you what kind of modifications you have to make and how to test it and so on. So this is good because you learn about first you learn about a trigger, a simple trigger, and then you learn about a simple stored procedure, and you'll learn the difference between those two and how they're invoked and so on. And then there's this campus cuisine, which is kind of interesting. And here we're getting into a little bit more like fourth normal form, fifth normal form, and so on, which is kind of interesting. Creating a database, creating a couple triggers. That's assignment 6. And then assignment 7, which I haven't posted up yet, but I can kind of show you what it is. And I show you, I know what I'll do. I'll show you, this is my student account. If I go to last semester, this is last semester's course. And this is the last semester's assignment, and I'm just going to show it to you, and it's going to be almost exactly like this, except for you're going to have okay. So here here's a store procedure that you're going to put in there, how to test it, and then we're going to make some application program interfaces. We're going to make some APIs on your server, and those are going to be written in a language, either Python or PHP. Now, in the past, it's just been Python. In the past, it's just been PHP, because PHP is is common web development language. Everybody uses PHP. Well, a lot of people use PHP to develop websites, but Python is really the thing, the language of the day, the language. And so I have Python versions of these little scripts and those are going to be the assignment. I'll probably give you a choice, or I may have you do one in PHP and one in Python. I practically give you the solutions, and it's just a matter of learning how to get it running on your server. Now that you're this far along in programming, learning a new programming language is the easy part. The hard part is getting it to work on the platform that you're, oh, it turns out the file was uploaded with carriage return line feed at the end of each line, and it doesn't accept it. It's got to be just line feed or just crazy stuff like that. And so we'll experience that. And again, there's going to be videos. So I've not posted this assignment 7 yet, but that's what assignment 7 is going to be. And again, there's going to be videos for everything. All right, so 1107. I wanted to go back to talk some more about the assignment. Oh, no, about the textbook. Okay, so let's start with the first chapter here and kind of go through these chapters. I'm going to pop this open. This is a nice. So we're just introducing ourselves to what a database is, talks about all these different databases, and this is nice casual reading. You should read this and play these little game things here, and you want to get all the points there. And so public data sets, and here you saw this before, and you read the answers are right above it. Drag the answers down here. I don't just go here. And do that, and then explains databases, query language application, a database application. So this is all basic stuff. So you get your sort of definition of these terms here. More participation exercises here. So you can click on. You just say start, and you go, okay, that's nice. Database engineer creates a database. Customer creates that stuff, and you click on the arrow deal, and it tells you more stuff. And then you click on it again, and it tells you more stuff. And then you click on it final time, tells you more stuff, and then boom, get all the points. All right. Then you answer these questions. Is it this one? Yes. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Yes. Anyway, you should actually try to get them on the first try. See what is here's another one of those things where you just watch it. The limitations of file systems as opposed to databases. Explains basically what a transaction is. It's either all or none, and you gotta. We'll learn that we will write. When we write stored procedures, that's when we talk about transactions, because a stored procedure is a sequence of database instructions like SQL statements and so on. And if you start the process and you insert some data in someplace, and you select some data, delete some data, and then something happens where you say, oh shoots, this is not going to work. You want to roll back. You want to put everything back the way it was before you started this whole transaction. And so that's what transactions are. You say a starting point, and if there's an error deep into the transaction, you do a rollback, and it just pops you right back. And it's a nice thing about databases. Here's another dragging thing. Talks about the architecture. Another watch the thing. Okay, so query languages. Let's get to some. Let me get to some. Any challenges? Let's see where the first challenge is. Oh, there's a challenge here, isn't there? Query languages. Let's see what the challenge is. Insert, retrieve, update, participation. Oh, look, true, false. Writing SQL. Wow, it's kind of introducing us at the very beginning to this. Okay, here's a challenge activity. This is a typical challenge activity. Okay, so we're supposed to pick the answers. Okay, so I'm gonna, and there's four of them. Okay, so I'm gonna start by clicking start. It says, what is the new rows area? Okay, so this is inserting a row into this table. Well, that would be this table. And the values are Micronesia, that looks like that's the name. Capital is that. This is the area. And this is the population. And so it looks like, what is the new row's area? Well, that looks like it's this number. And so that looks like it's this number. And if you look this down, is it this number or this number? Why, it's this number. Okay, check the answer. Oh, look at that, I got a check mark there. All right, what's next? Select results of the table has how many country names? Ooh, okay. So we're searching for the names of countries where the area is less than 96,000. And how many country names do we get? Well, let's look at all the ones that are less than 96,000. This one is 96,000. This one is not. This one is, but not this one. So it's going to be this one and this one and this one. So that would be 3. 2, 3. Ah, good. All right. So as I was saying before, somewhere it describes languages here, does it? Trying to remember where the discussion is. I think of language. Here we go. This is what I was kind of saying before. Programming languages fall into 2 broad categories: imperative and declarative. Imperative languages contain control flow statements. So this is like a regular program, like you're used to, Java or whatever. And you're writing steps. Whereas declarative languages do not contain control flow statements. Each statement declares what the desired result is, okay, using logical expressions. It's the result that you're expressing and not how to get the result. Compilers for these declarative languages are called optimizers because they have to determine the best way to get what you want. And so it could be in different ways. And so this goes back to what we're looking at here, where you see that we are well, this insert was that, but select is there another select one? No, maybe not. Not did it. We're starting over again. Okay, anyway, so like here, a select statement, we're selecting the capital of a country, select the capitals of a country where the area is less than 24,000. See, this is describing what we want. We want the capitals of countries that have an area of less than 24,000. We're not saying, oh, start with the row, go with each row, for each row, if area is less than 24,000, then append capital into a list of capitals if you were writing it in Python, or append onto an array of capitals or so. And so if you were to write a program in Java to find this answer, you would write steps. But in SQL, you just write what you want. You say what the fields you want, the projection, and we're going to learn these terms. We learn these terms in section 2.9. There's the projection, that's the pi. There's the restriction, that's the row, the row symbol, and so on. So anyway, so that's pretty cool. And that's how challenge exercises work. So for challenges, you actually have to stick to it until you get the answer. Whereas with participation activities, you can just, if you want to, just get the points and you don't care about learning anything, then you can just click until you get the points, and you're still going to get the same number of points. So so in the syllabus, even though, this syllabus, you know, even though participation activities are free, I still give you the most points for them because really, you know, you have to be rewarded. I want to reward you for, you know, taking the time to try to learn what the textbook is trying to teach you. And you know, textbooks are always kind of boring and stuff, and the idea of the reviews of these zyBooks textbooks are actually pretty good because it's the idea is you do a little bit of stuff, and then you know you learn a little bit, and then you can go off and you know make dinner for your kids or whatever. And you can come back, you know you got 15 minutes. Okay, you plug through you know maybe one more section or a couple more sections, and then you're done, and you can go off and do it. You got to go off to work or something, and it doesn't force you into the learning style where you have to sit and work on a program for 2 hours, you know, dive down into it and learn everything. And one of the things that is frustrating for programmers is if they only have short spurts of time to write their code, it's really tough because it takes you a little while to get into it. Then when you're in it, you know what all the variables are and where you are in the program, and then all of a sudden you're interrupted, or if you are interrupted, you go off and do something else, or you get a phone call, talk on the phone for 10 minutes, you put the phone down and you look at the code again and you say, okay, where the heck was I? This tries to make it easier for as much learning about coding as it can for all of us in our busy schedules, and we can it helps us kind of remember stuff. We remember these little exercises. Okay, so that's chapter 4. So this, you know, database programming and design. We're going to learn about entity relationship diagrams, and we learned about normalization. How these, this is called the schema. It's the design. How these tables are related and how you relate them. It does, in this course, we got to talk a little bit about the physical design of databases and the indexes and so on, and how databases are, you know, what the internal structures are that help it, you know, find the answers that you want quickly. Indexes are very important. And here is, okay, so there's two definitions of API, two definitions of application programmer interface. One is the application programmer interface that is in the higher level language that you're writing the code in. Okay, let me give you an example of the two definitions of application programmer interfaces. Okay, this is my let me go back to this assignment. I need to go back to what was assignment 7, and I got to show this to you last semester. Let me just show you assignment 7. You're gonna see this assignment pretty soon. Okay, so okay, this first part is actually a store procedure that's inside MySQL. You're going to use PHP-MyAdmin, and this code gets typed directly into your SQL server, and it's executed in your SQL server. But here we have these server-side APIs. Now, I use the term API here to mean a little program that sits on your server. There's one program to add a place to your database, one program to delete a place out of your database, and one program to search all the places in your database. And these are 3 little programs that sit on your server. This is the PHP code for them. And you see it does this, it searches, here's the search one, search places. We're searching places in the database, and we're looping, and then we're collecting together and we're putting the places into an array, and then where we send back this JSON, you know, JavaScript object notation object with the results. and then you test your APIs like this. This is a little code for a little web page that you're going to create. It looks like this over here on the right. This is the code, and you can like add a place, enter in a campus, enter in a cuisine, enter a place, click on this, and it actually adds it, and so on. Okay, so these three little forms here exercise these application programmer interfaces. And by application programmer interfaces, I'm talking about the JavaScript programmer or the HTML programmer that's writing a program that executes in the browser and sends these requests to these little programs on your server. And these little programs on your server get out the data and send a JavaScript object back to the JavaScript that's running in your browser. So the programmer is the JavaScript programmer in that's writing JavaScript for the browser, and it could be like just like writing a mobile app, and a mobile app would have a lot of JavaScript in the little browser, and it just does these little requests to the server to get back data, and then it displays it up on the little mobile browser. Okay, so that's one definition of an application programmer interface. The interface is a PHP program that sits and runs on your server, and the application is the JavaScript application that sits in your mobile app or sits in the browser. Okay, so that's one definition of application programmer interface. The other definition of application programmer interface is inside the PHP program. Inside the PHP program, there is an interface to the database, and that's shown right here. We've got this is the interface to the database. This is PHP code, and we have to connect to the database. We have to say what the host is. We have to say the user, because the data to connect to a database, you have to have a user and you have to have a password, and you have to say what the database is you're connecting to. So this is code that's kind of, that sort of are the methods, the PHP built-in PHP methods that allow you to connect to the SQL server that is either on your server, or it can be someplace on some other server by access. So by the host is different. And so this statement, and this statement actually executes the query. See, you're gonna declare this SQL statement. By the way, in PHP, every variable starts with a $sign. Okay, so every variable starts with a. So these are just regular PHP variables. So this is the second kind of application program interface. So the application is this little PHP program. That's the application. The programmer is the PHP programmer that's writing this PHP program that sits on the web server, and then the interface are these methods that are provided in PHP to access. So the PHP programmer can interface to the MySQL database. Okay, so those are the two, and it in fact talks about that someplace. And it points out that distinction someplace. Here, APIs. Application program interfaces between the application and the computer service. And then there's also, it talks about, I think someplace it says not to be confused with other kinds of, oh, yeah. Someplace it talks about that. Term varies. Term syntax, see, the term also refers to implementation of procedures or classes incomplete. Well, anyway, when we get there, we'll cover that more clearly. Here, by the way, is a section on database programming in Python, and this is there one with PHP? Here it talks about PHP. This PHP is a little bit different than the PHP what we're going to be using, because it uses this PDO thing that we don't really use. So there's an alternative way that we do it. So there's PHP and then there's Python, and so we're actually going to do both. Python works on our servers, and I've done it in other classes, so you'll experience that. All right, so that's kind of all I have for today. Let me stop sharing, and so I hope that gave you an overview of what's coming in the class. And so if you could go to that cansit.in, which was in the announcement email that I sent about a couple hours ago, and put in when you can attend a class. Should you want to attend a class, you can always go in and change it, and then I can schedule these lectures, these videos, which you don't have to come to, but you can if you want to. And the schedule is good for me. It keeps me in pace with the course. And also, if you have any questions, you can always email me the questions, and I can cover them in the next video, even if you're not there to see it firsthand. Okay, so that's another. Make sure if you have any kind of questions or issues, just email me, and I will either answer them directly to you, or I will include them in the next video, and then I'll tell you. I'll respond. I'll reply to your email and say, well, I'm going to cover that in the next video, or I'll reply and say, oh, I did cover that in a previous video or whatever. All right. So, do you guys have any questions? Hearing none, I will see you next time. Maybe later this week, but for sure early next week. Thanks for watching.